Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. With the price of Bitcoin ripping to new highs, the question of where it will top out this cycle is back in focus. In recent weeks, prominent forecasters have raised their predictions amid increasingly bullish market conditions. Today, we're putting some of the most bullish predictions under the microscope to find out how persuasive their arguments really are, and whether these new eye-watering targets aren't just one big top signal. My name is Nick, and if you hold Bitcoin, this is a video you can't afford to miss. Before I start reeling off price predictions, let's begin with a little market context to ground our analysis. On May 21st, Bitcoin rallied to $110,797, breaking the previous all-time high of $109,588 set on January 20th, Trump's inauguration day. The next day, it raced even higher to within a sneezing distance of $112,000, leaving us with a new all-time high of $111,980 at the time of making this video. It seems like just yesterday we were all lamenting what a miserable Q1 it had been for crypto's prices. But lo and behold, just 1 week into Q2 and the bottom was in and it was off to the races again, at least for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price formed a local bottom around $74,500 in early April at the height of the US-China trade war, and since then, the chart has looked like a big, beautiful staircase heading to the moon. Fingers crossed we won't be taking the elevator down anytime soon. Anyways, as it stands, sidelined traders and altcoin pickers have been watching in disbelief as Bitcoin rallied by more than 50% in just 6 weeks, outpacing the more modest recovery seen in most other cryptos. Despite rallying from their April bottom, few altcoins, if any, are near their all-time highs as of late May. ETH and Sol, for example, both rallied 97%, but remain far below their dizzying highs they saw in January. And in ETH's case, that also applies to January 2022, but let's not beat someone when they're down. Anyhow, you know what that means for the crypto market. Bitcoin dominance is still climbing. It's been rising non-stop since August of 2022, with only the slightest of hiccups along the way. In November 2024, for example, Bitcoin dominance slipped by a little under 5%, giving altcoins a chance to catch their breath for a few weeks before the punishment resumed. And resume it did. Now, since December, Bitcoin dominance has actually been rising even faster. It hit 65% in May, a level not seen since 2021. Now, for context, Bitcoin dominance hit almost 74% in January 2021, before plunging quite suddenly to below 40% by the end of April 2021. And this period was the historic alt season when the price of most altcoins seemed to multiply several times over in just a few weeks. Alt season is a topic for another video, but Bitcoin dominance watchers will no doubt be keeping a close eye on the under 60s to 70% region. God help us if that level is ever flipped into support and Bitcoin dominance starts heading towards 100%. Just kidding, I think. So, all in all, Bitcoin is showing tremendous strength again, and this has got all of us asking questions about how high it could climb, whether the top is already in, or if we could be looking at Bitcoin's new price floor. I know that last one might sound a bit crazy, but look at what happened when Bitcoin flipped $10,000 in late 2020. It 5x'd over the next 7 months, and a 4-figure Bitcoin was never seen again. And that sounds like an exciting analog for where we are today, now quite comfortably above $100,000. But, on the other hand, the market structure of today is completely different to the accumulation phase that preceded the 2020 to 2021 bull run. Bitcoin has been rallying for the last 2.5 years now. It is already up 623% from the bottom of nearly $15,000 reached in late 2022. So, how much more gas can we expect there to be in this tank? Before we answer that question, though, I have a question for you. Are you sure you subscribe to the channel? That's because we've noticed at least 34% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. So, if that's you, you can change that right now by hitting that subscribe button. You may as well hit that like button as well.